All right, welcome back everyone to day number 4 of Enterprise Blockchain Week. Enterprise Blockchain Week is brought to you by Access Blockchains Association of Malaysia, along with its many media partners including Bitcoin Malaysia, Blocklime, TalkChain, EveKL, Grenade, Media, DeFi Singapore, and Imperium Universe. What is Enterprise Blockchain Week? It is part of a larger event called Malaysia Blockchain Month, a total of 6 weeks. And how it works is every single day for just 1 hour, Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., we bring to you new educational content. And every week is a different type of content. On the first week, we had everything to do with Malaysia. On week number 2, DeFi. On week number 3, NFTs. Now we're in the 4th week and on day number 4 of Enterprise Blockchain Week. On week number 5, we have a lot of developer boot camps. Okay, I'm really looking forward to that to train up the skills for our country as well for the region in Southeast Asia. And last but not least, we're going to end Malaysia Blockchain Month with week number 6, a 2-day conference called Ignite. Wow, 6 weeks of events. Why are we doing this? It's because as an association, part of our mission is to grow the industry. What kind of industry are we talking about? An industry where digital assets live on the internet and they are secured by decentralized networks called blockchains. To date, January this year, something very interesting happened. If you combine all the digital assets that exist today, that is $1 trillion. For the first time ever, this industry hit this milestone. It took 12 years in the making, but guess what? 9 months later, just 9 months later, we are now at $2 trillion, okay, in industry. It's really, really fast growing. So the question is, are you able to build yourself and capture the opportunities that are available in this growing industry? So this week, we're talking about enterprise blockchain. We're on day number 4. The last 4 days, what have we learned so far? We have learned that you don't need a token for consensus, right? What you have seen, okay, with Anchain, with Quorum, with Hyperledger, is that they are the building blocks in order for enterprises, in order for corporations to build trust systems, trust-based systems, so that they can get things done much more faster, solve trust gaps, and we saw many kinds of use cases. For example, with Anchain, the vaccine administration and post-COVID recovery use case that they have seen in China. Hyperledger, I really like the 7 days to 2.2 seconds Walmart case study, okay, of tracing the the origins of the food as a supply. And then we also saw, okay, yesterday, the forum use case. One thing that I picked up is the Starbucks use case, okay, from bean to cup traceability. So today we have a very special guest. Okay, his name is Peter Lee from R3 Corda. What is R3 Corda? It is another layer of another ecosystem, okay, of which people can build upon, and its adoption is fast growing, particularly in the finance industry. It's very widely adopted and increasingly so in Southeast Asia, right? And there has been a lot of development, okay, in the last 1 year. We previously had R3 Corda last year as well in our Enterprise Blockchain Week. And since then, a lot of things, okay, exciting things have happened since. Like, for example, here you could see the China's blockchain project BSN, the blockchain service network, integrates R3 Corda to give more smaller businesses the ability to access blockchain technologies at an affordable cost. And this is fast growing as well beyond China as well. So we have, okay, Peter Lee to update us on the ecosystem, on the use cases, okay, that we have seen in R3 Corda, to perhaps even inspire us and encourage more people to build on the R3 Corda ecosystem. So without further ado, I'd like to invite, okay, our special guest, Peter. Peter, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Jason. Thank you for inviting me.
So let's get started right away. Can you share with us, okay, what are, what's happening, okay, in the past 1 year for R3 Corda?
So sure, actually, I saw this presentation is more about our platform, but sure, if you guys would like to hear about the use cases, let me jump directly to what happened within the past year, right? So yeah, let's begin. So I just gonna show you straight up. We have actually four use case I wanna sort of show you all here tonight. The success that we had done in different multi sectors. So one of the project that is very famous in the APAC area is called Contour. So Contour is basically a financial solution among the banks and the trade industry. So the business problem that they face is the inefficiency of paper-based process, along with multiple phases of trade transaction impact cost, complexity, and turnaround time. So that's a very complicated. Doing trade, global trading is a very time-consuming process. So it has a lot of costs happen in between trading, and the result is reduced margin for traditional banks business, and this tough competition for client business from other working capital solutions. So Contour is one of the projects that basically try to minimize the friction between doing tradings, and especially for in the process of sending letter of credit. So basically, it's just one company, and when they want to decide to start doing business with another companies, there's a letter of credit that happens in the financial world that need to be done. So they're looking to develop a blockchain solution, basically minimize the business frictions in order for exchanging the letter of credit. So on the right side are some success that we see achievement from the project Contour, 90% reduction in end-to-end processing time, and it offers transparency and efficiency and security. And right now there are 20 banks live on Contour. So that's the first use case I would like to share with you. The second one is another thing that we spend a lot of time on development and sort of nurtured, is called the Spunta project, Spunta DLT. So for this one is we collaborate with ABI Bank. Is basically a banking association at Italy. So let's begin actually from the our result. So right now we have 91% of Italian banks, 100 total, are exchanging interbank transfer data on Corda, and there are over 350 million transactions expected to be processed by the end of 2020. So that's actually happened because we are now in the 2021, and for interbank reconciliation time was reduced from 30 to 50 days now to less than 1 day. So that was basically what was the result, and that sounds all exciting, right? But if you think about banks, what kind of problem they have, they of course every industry has its pain point. So the business problem for banking industry is the reconciliation process for interbank transaction in Italy, especially formally governed by what's called Spunta process, has multiple party involved, and manual process, which leads to inconsistencies. So as our company, Enterprise Blockchain, one of the characteristic about blockchain is, distributedly storing data and executing transactions or business logic based on smart contract. So that's basically, again, relieve the hassles and issues that are in between the reconciliation process. As a solution of these problems, the product Sponta, a solution based on our platform Corda, enables banks to share common data in a secure way, performing checks and exchanges directly within the applications and using standardized process and communication for correcting issues, resulting in lower operational costs, risk, and faster, more transparent process, all delivered through a highly user-friendly interface. And lastly is our platform called Enterprise has increased communication and driven interconnectivity to bring more values to every participant in the ecosystem. So as Jason was saying that R3 has a very in-depth industry expertise in the banking and the financial industries. And the third use case I would like to share with you is something on digital asset side. So we partnered with NASDAQ to basically come together. NASDAQ, they have a platform now called the Digital Asset Suite. So basically this one came from their real business problem. Is their customer come to them asking, we now actually want digital, we have went through the digitalization of some of our assets. Now we are looking to have a platform that we can exchange our digital asset. And so, NASDAQ found us, and then we collaborated and provide such marketplace. And as a result, on the right side, you see we have 120 marketplaces across 50 countries using NASDAQ marketplace technology. And basically, it provides exchange platform for the upcoming futures. Everything is digitalized, and digital assets gonna be sort of traded on a blockchain platform. Lastly, I would like to share something on the insurance industry, which is fairly close to the financial world. So for the insurance industry, R3 had helped and worked with a company called B3I to become the largest first live reinsurance blockchain applications, and to basically taking care the long existing problem with administrative cost of the insurance sectors. So as you can see in the business problem statement, legacy product, process, and technology degrade data and contribute to an unacceptably high administrative burden. Current business systems are unable to cope with the exponentially growing complexity and volume data. So that's actually is the second or the first characteristic of blockchain or distributed ledger technology is it's a better way to manage data. It's a better way to collaborate with your counterparty on a decentralized system, so you don't have to give up to your data right. And as a result, 62% of the trial participants highlighted workflow efficiency and reduce admin efforts. So that's are some of the highlights and the use cases I would like to share all of you for the success we had last year. And after showing you all the success, the use case, someone may ask, okay, then what does R3 do exactly, right? What's our sort of product, right? Talking about Corda, talking about enterprise blockchains, right? Then what exactly do we offer? So as a company, R3 offers the technology called Corda, which is a blockchain platforms. And as it shows on the screen, it says not all the blockchain platforms are the same. We try to build the next generation blockchain platform with the support of its driving ecosystem to basically support business. A lot of public blockchains or other private blockchains, they have other pretty cool use or practical use on the public sectors issuing coins or doing whatever. But for us, we focusing on the business side. So we taking care of some of the issues that are for us, we can say issue because we talking about that from a business perspective, something that business world cared, right? With the blockchain, first generation, second generation blockchains, the identity on the blockchains, the privacy on the blockchains, the speed of the settlement and the integration are not there for using in the business level use cases. So we build Corda, which we think is a third generation blockchain. It's a blockchain for business and is applicable to all industries because we don't want to sort of like create a blockchain that can only work with banks. As I show you with the use cases, yes, we work with banks, but we also work with insurance. We also work with exchanges, right? We also work with trade finance. And lastly, it's like one of our visions is for our project, we want to build a cross industry ecosystem. It's like it's not only a software for the banking or it's only a software for the insurance. It's going to be a software for the ecosystem where all industry can work with each other together. So that brings up to the question is like, why Corda, right? So Corda offers kind 8 most advantage points for sort of offering as a product. The first one is, of course, blockchain. If we're talking about blockchain, immutability is a key thing. So I'm not going to actually explain too much on that. We have that. That means we qualify as a distributed ledger technology or blockchain. Second, mutual verification is like consensus. So Corda guarantee that the shared facts are agreed upon by a variety of consensus mechanisms. We have algorithm consensus that you can implement to your network. We also have another layer of the consensus basically is on the administrative level. Corda is a private blockchain. That means in order to get on the blockchain, you need to pass some permission control. So that's the second one. The third one is the security and the privacy. Corda enforce peer-to-peer communication. That means your transaction will always be your transaction between you and your counterparties. Any third party cannot have their hands on your transactions. Easy integrations. So Corda, the source code of Corda is Kotlin, but our level 2 applications can be developed in Java. So that means any developer who has a Java background can develop our smart contract. And what's also really good about it is Java is one of the most common developed language that used in the financial industry. On the right side, records of shared fact, including financial agreement, are consistent across entities only with those party to the transaction. So that's kind of similar with the third one. The privacy part is the ledger are only shared with your counterparty. Smart contract is in our system are called Corda decentralized applications. Your business logic gonna encapsulate and execute in a deterministic and a temporary evident manner. So meaning your business logic is gonna be executed automatically and safely. Interoperability is we have return this privacy but allow any node to transact without creating island of asset or liquidity issue. So that means you can freely jumping between different industries and operating all the application on a single node. So that's going into the technical detail a little bit, but yes, at Corda we allow that you only need one digital identity and you can operate multiple Corda applications on your node. So you can be participate into multiple networks. And lastly, the transparency consensus achieved at individual deal level rather than the system level. So supports a variety of consensus mechanism. That means we can do pluggable consensus. That's kind goes to with the second point is the automatic consensus. We can do raft or we can do other consensus mechanism if your consortium would like to implement it. Next, enterprise technology. Let's talk about enterprise. So we adopt the open core enterprise model. So that means the core of our platform, of our software, are the same. So we have the Corda as an open source software. Everybody can just download it today and then start developing. So that's the core of our product. And if you look at the outer layer, so we have Corda Enterprise on the outside. So the Corda Enterprise is basically all the enterprise functionalities, enterprise features. You see all of our customers, they are using the Corda Enterprise because they are working with the HSM, hardware security module. They have to implement the blockchain application firewalls. They have to handle the high availability issues and the disaster recoveries and yada, yada, yada. So for Corda Enterprise, which is our proprietary technologies, is what drives the revenue and the product that we sell. And for Corda open source, the fundamental code we open it for the public. Speaking of enterprise technologies, we have to somehow get qualified in terms to call us the enterprise level technology, right? So Corda has passed the test by most demanding institution in the world. So DTCC and the center, they did a test in late October 2018. They have the conclusion that Corda can support US equity daily trading volume without a problem. And for our encryption schemas by a US National Institution of Standard and Technology, the NIST, Corda is the only enterprise blockchain to meet NIST standards. So that's happened in April 2020. So that's why we can always proud and honored to call ourselves the enterprise level technology. And another sort of report by Gartner, Corda has over 40% use case in 2020 compared to all the blockchain platforms, and 50% of the Corda use case are in banking, security, and the insurance sector. So as Jason was saying, our company really has a strong in-depth expertise in the financial industry. So next, I can talk really briefly about the Corda platform. So Corda platform, the network consists of three components. Technically speaking, four components. So we have first the node, as you can see on the diagram on the right side. So the little circle, they are the node. And you see the little cloud, they are the Corda. It's the Corda decentralized applications, right? The Corda. And then you have the business network, which is like the bigger circle you see here. So the bigger circle represents a network where participants can freely transact with each other because they are all in the same network. And inside of the business network, they have a business network operator. So basically, is the consortium who's running the network, right? People like to call Corda is a centralized decentralizations. So with that in mind, every network has to have basically an organization that basically runs the network, telling who can join the network, who cannot, because again, Corda is a private permission blockchain. And lastly, on the global network, on the outer ring, there's also one entity. We call it the doorman, but they are actually the network identity manager. So they operating the whole global Corda network. If you ask, does your network operator gonna has ability to freely look into your data, your transaction? The answer is no. So your network identity managers are more like a doorman, right? The doorman invite people to join the party, but the doorman does not necessarily himself or herself will join the network and start doing transactions. With Corda's private peer-to-peer transaction model, your information is definitely secure between you and your counterparties. And with that, four things together is the node, the Corda, the smaller business network, and then the business network operator of every network. Together, you will have a global Corda networks. And let me show a more straightforward diagram of the Corda network. So on the screen right now, you see Corda is a permission network that provides peer-to-peer communication on a need-to-know basis. So right now we are seeing a network of 3 nodes and 1 node tree. So if you remember the items I was showing from the previous slide, so that's basically is a smaller set of the Corda network. You have node, right? You have Corda, which is executing, running on your node. You don't necessarily see it here, but you can imagine it's inside of the node. And outside, on the outside, also you don't see it here, is the network operator. And you have the node tree, but that's more like a Corda service, right? Because the node tree gonna taking care something on the blockchain network, which is consensus, reaching a consensus. Right? Reaching the consensus is the number one issue with any blockchain platform. So with blockchain, you have a proof of work, and other blockchain has a different consensus algorithm. For Corda, all the consensus is reached by the node tree. So the node tree will check for double spend, which is again number one issue with the blockchain world. To make sure the same person is not spending the money twice, verify the person actually have the money and the power to actually execute the transaction. So basically, provide the first check is make sure that the person is not doing double spend, not spending let's say $10 twice. Make sure he's not doing that. Second is make sure that that person really has $10. So the node tree will take care of that. For example, Colorado River Authority, Titan Technology, and the Base Transcorp, they're just business parties on the network. And what they will do is initiate a peer-to-peer communications. For example, if there's a transaction between Titan Technology and Colorado River Authority, Base Transcorp will not know anything about it. And if Base Transcorp and Colorado river authority ends up doing some business separately, then Titan technology partners will not have any idea about it. And that's basically is a smaller set of the network. And if we bring it up to the global Corda network, it's look like that. So on the outside, you have the Corda Foundation basically doing the KYC, right? We are in the business world, right? It's not just you want to bring all your friends and all your families to the blockchain. We want people participate in the network really gonna do business. So their identities need to be audited, and their identity will be protected. And that's based on the global Corda network by the power of the Corda Foundation. It's not owned by R3. It's a collective of board of different executives from different industries, and they came together and set up the Corda Foundation. And they worked as the network identity manager, which is the doorman, and then they provide network map. So inside of the smaller, you see the smaller dot, and then all those like line drawings. They are peer-to-peer communications. They are transactions between the node, and you can see basically they are the smaller network altogether with a big composition of a large Corda network. And inside of the dot, in the highlight, we have some yellow dot, we have some green dot. For the green dot, you can think they're just the Corda node, whether they're using Corda Enterprise or Corda open source. They're the node. So for the yellow dot, they are the notaries, which we were describing doing the checking, the timestamp, double spend validations. So altogether, that's a Corda network. And what people do on the Corda network, that's going to the things I was showing at the beginning. Project like Contour, project like Spunta, project like Nasdaq Digital Assets Suite, and project like B3I Reinsurance. So that's all, again, come back to what we really envisioned, right? All the way from the beginning to the three, what you can call it slogans, or you can call it company missions. We want to build a cross-industry ecosystem where all kinds of business, they can participate. And we don't want to create any silos. So the global Corda network is definitely a place where you want to deploy your business. Yeah, I think that's all for my presentation today. Checking on the time, I think we are also on time. Let's open up for QAs.
All right. Thank you very much, okay, Peter. Now, Peter, before we go and ask questions about R3 Corda, thank you so much for the wealth of information that you have provided with the ecosystem. Not only, the use cases, what the platform is, okay, what the technology is for, how does it work, what's behind, the suit. Before we go and ask about all those questions, okay, I am very keen, okay, to ask you, right? If someone wants to get trained in R3 Corda, right? Okay, to build on R3 Corda, where can they get training on R3
So that's
Corda?
actually my team. So I work in the developer relations team. So something very interesting you mentioned the next week is the bootcamp week. So I think we have interest to participate and actually offer a training for developers in Malaysia.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's one place to do. But is there any kind of like resource center that you already have, or Discord channel, or
Oh, yeah, big time. So if you, I can share my screen if you may.
can?
Let me. So we just launched another. Let me share my screen. We just launched basically a brand new platform. I'm sharing my. It's called a developer R3 developer portal. So today we're talking about blockchain. Oh, sorry, let me do that. Today we're talking about blockchain systems. That's one of our product. Actually, we have the second line product, which is Conclave, which is confidential computing, right? Not fit for today's sessions, but this basically is the hub that you can get information, you can get trained. And right now I'm signing in, but also you can if you are first time get on there, you can log in. We have blogs and we have events. We're gonna continuously put up events um, on the website, and we will have a community where you can ask questions, top core apps, smart contracts. If you want to basically learn about it, we have clients sharing their use cases, and also we have this one is about machine learning, right? So we have all kinds of cool resource and material on the R3 developer portal. So the URL is also simple. It's just developer.r3.com. So if you guys may sign up today.
Got it. Right. So visit developer.r3.com, register for an account. There's a wealth of resource, of information on how to
Yes.
get started. Now, another question is, earlier you mentioned during your presentation that one of the reasons why R3 Corda is probably one of the reasons why R3 Corda is is kind of like the preferred technology stack that has been selected by the financial industries because the language it uses is something that they're already familiar with, that is Java, right? So for
Yeah.
those who are young people, right, who are thinking of a career in this direction, what kind of languages, what kind of skills, can you share that you think is important for them to have if they are currently at the university level?
So for R3, for our company, we are very close with the business. So when we working with our partners, we want them have a very short go to market time. That's why we
Right.
choose Java, which is the most friendly language. But if you ask me for any advice, I actually I think Java is definitely the first choice, because even though you don't working in the blockchain industry, as a student you learn. I came from engineering background as well, so learning Java is definitely it will be a good asset of yourself, right? Even though you don't work in this industry, working in other industry, you can definitely use Java as one of your toolkit. Speaking of other platform, even though I work for R3, but just speaking for the general knowledge, looking at other platforms for Hyperledger or Ethereum, there are Solidity out there, and there are Go language. So if you really, as advice for young people, then it's you can begin with Java, which is solid. Not only getting a job in blockchain industry, you can get a job anywhere else. And if you're looking at the blockchain industry, Java, Kotlin, Solidity, Go, your choice.
Right. So, speaking of which, I'm actually quite interested to ask you, because you mentioned a little bit just now. What's your story? How did you mentioned that you were from engineering. How did what's your story, and how did got to where you are right now working with the R3 developer team?
So I came from an engineering background. I have a degree in computer science and mathematics. But I guess when I first graduated, I was a little bit rebellious. So I didn't want to do software engineering. So I went straight to New York and actually got myself a job in a venture capital. So it's a VC firm, right? However, well, I mean, not like however, but it's throughout my work at the VC firm, I start, approach, gets closer to blockchain, because the VC was looking at a blockchain. That was 2018, right? It was when blockchain was really on the rise. Technology wise, 2018 is already like the end of like ICO and cryptocurrency, a little bit the bubble, but that was when the blockchain technology actually going up. And I found R3, and back then there was another blockchain platform at New York. I forgot the name. Looking at them, and actually after a year working at a VC, me personally, I feel like it's little bit too early for me to step into the financial world just at age of 18, right? So I decide, okay, let me actually back to the tech side, and then I joined the developer relations team. Originally, my work at R3, I managed the community. So basically, if there's questions, I answer them. If there's a training, I will host the webinars. But right now, I'm focusing again on developers, but also session like the one that we are doing right now to basically build a community not only for developers, also startups, people who are interested in just looking at enterprise blockchain. So that's like where am I right now.
Right. So it's very interesting because what you're saying is that you started off as a community building role, and now, okay, you are more going into, okay, not only the development side, but also growing the developer community as well.
Yes, I actually see there are questions in the chat. May I answer them?
Yep, sure. So the first question, okay, is what is the consensus mechanism used by Corda and what are the decision-making models?
So the consensus mechanism using by Corda, as I mentioned, is pluggable. That means by default, we didn't offer you a consensus algorithm by default. So in that means so actually that I have to say a little bit on that is Corda is a private blockchain. It's totally different than a public blockchain. With public blockchain, you have to do consensus mechanism algorithm in order to reach a mutual agreement. However, for private blockchains, we care about TPS. We care about basically getting the transaction settled and then passed to the counterparties. So, and also you are working in a trust environment, or if I don't use the word trust, you are operating in a safe environment because all your counterparties are done through KYC. The doorman basically already audit some of their background. So the first thing first, you know who you are working with. That's the one of the big difference on public blockchain. So with the public blockchain, you only got a public key. You do some transactions, yes, you will get your asset, but you don't know who you are dealing with. But with the private blockchain, you know it for sure who you are dealing with. And back to your questions, consensus maximum by default is left empty because some of our clients, actually most of our clients, they will rather chase the TPS rather than building a trust because they already have the trust. They know who they are working with. So that's that questions.
So the next question is, how does Corda plan to scale its offering? Okay, is the current TPS sufficient already?
The current TPS is pretty efficient, as I show in my slide. So Corda is able to pass the U.S. equity stock closing day trading test. So if you think about that, that's millions of transactions per day for U.S. equity trading. So that I'm pretty confident, and especially we have Corda Enterprise, which can take care multi-threading. Basically, your node can multitasking. So TPS right now for us is not the issue.
So another question is, you mentioned about KYC data and that, when you are transacting, when participants are transacting, there's a doorman, okay, you know who you're dealing with, right? How does Corda manage the KYC data?
So Corda is the platform, is the tool, right? So whoever is doing the KYC is the doorman, is the identity manager. It will be a consortium. So if we look at the Spunta project, ABI Lab, which are who are behind the Italian Banking Association, so they will do the KYC process, and it's their sort of responsibility to taking good care of the data of the participant during the KYC process. R3, as a company, we don't even touch that data. It's not ours.
Right. Okay. So there's a next question, okay, a follow-up question from Harpreet, which is that, is there a set of available consensus models that can be already plugged in? Just like in Quorum, there is PBFT, and Hyperledger, there's RAFT.
Yeah, so for PBFT and the Raft, we have pilot samples in our repositories, but it's just, as I said, consensus algorithm at the moment is not one of our clients' demand. So we don't have a strong focusing on that, but we did try pilot and it worked. So that's basically the answer for that.
Okay, so with that, okay, I'd like to thank Peter. Thank you so much, okay, for joining
Thank
us,
you.
okay, today for the Enterprise Blockchain Week, giving us so much, okay, updates. I am quite amazed actually with how different, okay, the amount of activity that has been seen, okay, in just the last 1 year, okay, that is coming from R3 Corda. Thank you so much for your presentation and answering all the questions, okay, from our audience, okay, tuning in today.
Thank you.
All right, so that brings the end, okay, to day number 4 of Enterprise Blockchain Week. I have a few announcements to make. Number one, please remember to claim your proof of attendance token by scanning the QR code, putting your Ethereum address there, right? And claim the proof attendance token. Another thing that is exciting, very exciting, happening this weekend is that our partner, TalkChain, is organizing a Mooncake Festival virtual event on Gather Town. So this is going to be a very exciting event where it's taking place for an entire day from Saturday 6 p.m. to Sunday 6 p.m. There's going to be drops, there's going to be talks. Okay, scan the QR code. I will be attending. See you all there. Last but not least, join us tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the final day of Enterprise Blockchain Week, where we actually have a recurring guest. Tom Talbridge will be joining us tomorrow to share with us, okay, something really new called Fluence Protocol. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.